Alex Jones is a right-wing American shock jock who uses his InfoWars site and show to broadcast fake news and wild conspiracy theories. You may remember him from bizarre episodes like this.
And I'm not saying people didn't naturally have homosexual feelings. I'm not even getting into it, quite frankly. I mean, give me a break. You think I am like, shocked by it, so I'm up here bashing it because I don't like gay people? I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap. I'm sick of being social engineered. It's not funny.
That's a fairly stupid conspiracy theory that the US government is deliberately turning American frogs gay. But some of his output is a lot darker. On the 14th of December 2012, 20-year-old Adam Lanza entered Sandy Hook Elementary School. He was armed with a semi-automatic rifle and 10 rounds of ammunition. Within about 5 minutes, he shot and killed 26 and 7-year-old children as well as 6 adult members of the school's staff. He then shot himself. These are well-established facts about one of America's most heinous mass shootings. And yet this is how Jones chose to cover the story over the years.
The official story of Sandy Hook has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. My gut tells me the White House, people controlling the governments were involved in this. So don't ever think the globalists that have hijacked this country wouldn't stage something like this. They kill little kids all day, every day. And it's not our government, it's the globalist. I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're staging it.
Included in the conspiracy theory he promoted were claims that the parents of the murdered children were paid actors, that the massacre was a false flag operation carried out by gun control advocates, and even that no children had ever been killed. Those traumatized parents were then harassed for years by Jones's followers, with some being forced to move home several times. So Jones is a really, really bad guy, which makes the clip we're about to show you all the more satisfying. It takes place in a Texas courtroom where 2 of those parents have been suing Jones for defamation. For context, Jones had earlier testified under oath that there were no text messages on his phone concerning Sandy Hook. And the video begins after the lawyer for the parents presents him with a printout of a message.
I've never seen this text message. I guess you guys got Paul's. My phone didn't save them. So that's fine.
Your phone didn't save the second.
I told you guys, I gave it to the lawyers and said they drained the phone, they didn't find that stuff. I don't know how my phone's...
You gave it to the lawyers. They were supposed to find it. So that's what testimony is?
No, I searched it as well. I mean, so you guys have all this stuff and you say we didn't give anything. It's ridiculous.
Mr. Jones, you know how an iPhone works, right? You've had iPhone text messaging for several years now.
Yeah.
What does it mean if the messages are in blue? Whose messages are those? Whose phone is this taken from?
I don't know whose phone's taken from. I mean, I turned the phone over and said, take the stuff off.
Can I have you look in the very bottom below the very bottom left corner? Is that your phone number?
Yes. So you did get my text messages. And it said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones. Oh. Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about saying okay. Did you know that?
I told you the truth. This is your Perry Mason moment. I gave them my phone, and then...
Mr. Jones, you need to answer the question.
No,
Did you know this happened?
No, I didn't know this happened. But I mean, I told you I gave them the phone over. Just
answer the question.
You said in your deposition, you searched your phone. You said you pulled down the text, did the search function for Sandy Hook. That's what you said, Mr. Jones, correct?
And I had several different phones with this number, but I did, yeah. Well, of course, I mean, that's why you got it.
No, Mr. Jones, that's not why.
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones,
please just answer questions. There's no question. Mr. Bankston also only asks questions.
Sure. Mr. Jones, In discovery, you were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
I mean, if I was mistaken, I was mistaken, but you got the messages right there.
You know what perjury is, right? I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. I told you, I gave in my testimony the phone to the lawyers before or whatever, and so you got my phone, but we didn't give it to you.
No, Mr. Jones, one more time. And please remember, if you need to assert the Fifth Amendment, you can. I need to know that you can do that. But you testified under oath previously that you personally searched your phone for the phrase Sandy Hook and there were no messages. You said that under oath.
Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? That reveal. Alex Jones, your lawyer, sent me the full copy of everything that was on your entire phone, and I have seen all of your messages. And the lawyer then didn't tell Alex Jones, presumably because he was a bit embarrassed about it. So Alex Jones finds out live on, court TV, whatever this streams on in the United States. But anyway, now millions and millions and millions of people have seen it. Ultimately, Alex Jones had to pay $4.1 million in damages. So this hasn't gone very well for him. Have you ever seen anything like that clip before?
No, it's surreal also because his lawyer's not objecting or trying to wreck anything, or it's really, really strange. I mean, anybody who watched the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, at any point, if somebody on the stand is being skewered, obviously the other legal representative tries to obstruct it a little bit. That's part of the job. And I don't know why that didn't happen here. Maybe somebody who's watching this, who's more au fait with the proceedings over the recent sort of weeks and months, can give me an answer. But it's very strange. I presume his lawyer was just sort of like cringing, covering their face, saying, "Oh God, it wasn't me." Can you imagine how much shit that person now has on their person from the Alex Jones phone? Can you imagine the conversations he had with people, the text messages, the emails, the WhatsApps, the telegrams, the signals, whatever? Because he's had obviously the divorce with his wife. He was interviewed by Joe Rogan. It was only in 2016 that he interviewed Donald Trump on InfoWars. The stuff on there must be extraordinary. Now, of course, it has to be relevant if he's disclosing in a court of law. But my God, I would be very surprised if journalists, individuals haven't got in touch with that lawyer saying, "Look, is there anything you can give me in this phone, which is at least a lead to a big story?" Because I bet there's several dozen. Incredible, absolutely incredible. But just to finish, Michael, the thing about the frogs, it's sort of true. Atrazine. It was a UC Berkeley study. No, it's sort of true. It's not didn't make the frogs gay. There's a pesticide. So it's not a government program. It's a pesticide. Pesticides have all sorts of bad consequences. Yes. I don't think Alex Jones is kind of like a eco-anarchist or an eco-socialist. Atrazine, which is a very common pesticide, can effectively turn male frogs into female frogs. From what we can see, they start to produce estrogen. They can start to lay eggs. They start to mate with other males. So it doesn't make the frogs gay. It turns them effectively into female frogs. But it's not a government program. It's not intentional. Pesticides do lots of bad things. I mean, we've known that since Rachel Carson and the mid-1950s. But as with so much of what Alex Jones says, there's 5% truth in every 1 in 10 of his stories. And so people go, actually, no, he's right about this. But yeah, the Sandy Hook stuff, absolutely despicable, the lowest of the low. And it is amazing just to see he's just falling apart really in the last several years. Michael, he's not even 50 yet. You know that? I mean, it's not, I know we've got viewers and they say, "Oh, it's not nice when people comment on other people's appearances," but he was quite a good looking guy when he was younger. And you can just see that his anger and his hatred and his disposition to the world, it's really showing on him. Just a secondary point, but he's really fallen from grace. Because like I said, it was only 6 years ago he was interviewing, the president-elect.
I mean, I suppose if he was angry at the world, then his lawyer sending the entire contents of his phone to the opposing lawyer probably won't make him any less angry.